Thank you, AJ. It's a great pleasure of mine to introduce to you Tamika Williams-Jeter. We're very, very excited about her coming here to Wittenberg and taking over our women's basketball program. Um, I'm excited on a lot of fronts. I've known Tamika for 20 years, drafted her in the WNBA when I was coaching in Minnesota, followed her career as she gone through the college career at UConn, winning 2 national championships. She's a WNBA veteran. She's got extensive collegiate coaching experience. She is a former business owner, insurance agencies. She brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to our program. She's just met with our team, had a good experience there. Everybody seems excited. So at this point, I'd like to bring Tamika here, let her sit in front of the camera and let her visit with you guys, answer questions. The one thing about Tamika you're always going to get when she enters a room, the energy level is going to go up. So it's happened here at Wittenberg ever since she's been on campus. So thank you for your time and thank you for attending today. Tamika.
It's a wonder. The first person I see on here is Etora Coleman. That's not a surprise. She actually told me to write a couple notes. I want to start out by saying, Tiger Up, I'm so excited to be here today. And just got finished meeting the team, which has been awesome. They had some great questions. They wanted to know, about me a little bit. I asked a couple questions about them and just forging relationships. So that was just great. I first want to start out by thanking President Franson for giving me this opportunity. The Board of Trustees have been great. The Vice President, especially the #1 Vice President, our AD, Brian Agler. I call him BA. BA has been a part of my life for the last 20 plus years. When he reached out to me, I thought he was crazy. Even to think to be a head coach or to be an AD for me is a blessing. But I'm so happy he picked up that phone and he called me when he did, because it's changed my life in so many ways. So I definitely want to thank him. Matt Croce, the men's basketball coach here, he planted a seed every time I came on campus. He was really good. He answered 1,000 questions. That program is great, and I can't wait to pick his brain and sit under his desk and surprise him every morning he comes in, because I'm gonna be like, hey, I need to know, what you ran here and how you handle things. So I'm super excited about that. Both the faculty reps have spent a lot of time with me as academic liaison at the last 2 institutions that I had an opportunity to be a part of. Professor Brian Yonts of Education, who wanted to name his daughter Swinte LaCash, which I think is great. That's my best friend. Professor Lindsay Meermans, who we're going to be celebrating birthdays here in June, because both her daughter and my son have the same birthday. These are just people who continue to paint the vision for me. And they're special people. Professors, I'll talk about this later. I come from a line of teachers and educators. Professors are dear to my heart. They do the hard work. So I want to thank them. And the alumni couple of the year here at Wittenberg, and that's Alan and Lisa Watson. They planted seeds, man. If I'm an alum and I went to Wittenberg, I am excited that the couple of the year, I need somebody to work on that award, took enough time to come meet me, to tell me about what Wittenberg meant to them, to sit down and have lunch with me, to come and just give me a hug when I was here. Like, it means so much. So if I graduated from Wittenberg and I am an alum, that's a couple that really believes in Wittenberg, and they painted that picture for me as well. To all the friends, my family, my husband who he's my ride or die, love that guy to death, Richard Jeter, who rides all the highs and lows with me, and my 2 sons, Josiah, the young king we call him, and RJ, that, along with OH, they'll learn Tiger Up. All right. And to the many family and friends that I have in this area, this is super home for me. Ohio State is home, man. Springfield, this Dayton area, this is super home. This is what made Tamika. So thanks for allowing me to increase my data plan last night and today, because my phone literally exploded. People ask me why Wittenberg. It's home. Wittenberg is a hidden gem, okay, with a tradition of excellence. So why not? You know, I walk through campus. I've driven around the circle of campus. We have the steamer here, a $50 million facility that's a gathering place for this whole institution. And I dare anybody to come and see it. It's wonderful. It's here for everybody to enjoy. It's a meeting place for our community, and I just want to help drive that. I walk through and I see the hollow, and you know, BA tells many stories. I see people out there throwing frisbees. It's a great place for our students to congregate and enjoy each other. So it's beautiful. And then the biggest part for me, and you saw this in my quote, is people, man. The professors, the president, the trustees, the alum, the student body. That's what makes it for me. The people. So that's why I came to Wittenberg, and I'm excited and grateful for this opportunity because of what Wittenberg stands for, what it's about. It's about growing and molding young minds. I'm a product of two educators. My dad was a special ed teacher. My mom, a teacher in the Dayton public school system for 40 plus years. So I know that I'm 6'1", 6'2" on a good day. I think when I was 25. And when I came home, everybody saw me as a basketball player outside. When I came home and I didn't have a B+ in Algebra 2 trig, because my mom taught it for 20 years, and everybody should be really smart at Algebra 2 trig at that point, they didn't care about how many rebounds I got. They didn't care about how many points I scored. They didn't care about how many articles were written or where I was drafted. One thing that Josephine and George Williams cared about was what grades you brought home. And so that always, it separated them from the poor means they came from Mobile, Alabama, to the phenomenal 4 children they were able to raise and make sure that education was important. So why Wittenberg? Number one is because of the growing and molding of young minds. Number two is being an impactful person, an impactful force in our community. You know, being at a Division I institution for as long as I've been there, there's certain restrictions we have. Here, we have the steamer, we have the hollow, we have the people, we have the alumni, we have this hidden gem here. We have the professors who believe in these young people and a student body that represents nothing but excellence. So that was huge for me. And I'm from Dayton. And Wittenberg is giving me the opportunity to help the Dayton, Springfield area grow. So I get to be impactful in my community. And the last thing is this: a continuing of a tradition of winning. Everybody on this call say win. 1, 2, 3, win. We like to win at Wittenberg, let me tell you. So there's going to be a process here to win. I'm taking over. I just met with the young ladies on the team, and they understand that, you know, we're trying to win a lot of games at first and then win the conference and then hopefully be really good. You know, I want to walk right in that path with Pam Evans-Smith and Matt Croce. I have great role models and a great spirit over me, watching me to push me through that. But we want to win. This is a great conference. You got DePaul, you got Ohio Wesleyan, you got Denison. You know, we got our hands full, but we beat DePaul last year. So I know we got what we need in that locker room to get it done. So I'm excited about that. So when somebody calls you and they say, Tamika, you're going to be allowed to grow and mold young minds. You're going to be allowed to be impactful in your community, and you're going to be allowed to win and help these student athletes win both on and off the court and be impactful to a university. All those spaces that I want to help. These are all spaces I want to help this university and this team thrive in. And that's why I picked Wittenberg. It's that simple for me. It gave me an opportunity to do the things that I enjoy and I care about and I hold deep to my heart, and things that my parents would want me to extend. My dad was a Vietnam veteran, did 2 stints, was exposed to a lot of Agent Orange, and dad is buried at the VA Center right here in Dayton, and mom still lives in the area. So to have her to come to the games. I have 2 sisters who live in Columbus. My brother's out in Minnesota. Like I said, family and friends. It was an easy decision for me to make. And I would like to close by extending an invitation to everyone I know to come experience all the things that are great about Wittenberg. It's an awesome place. And I'll take any questions you have. Hi, Marty.
I have so many questions for you, Tamika. It's scary. Right? Congratulations. Yeah, obviously, I know so much about Wittenberg, all the time I spent over there, and what an opportunity this is for you. The people you've worked under before, have they all prepared you now to be a head basketball coach? I mean, the people you've coached and played under, I mean, it's a Hall of Fame list.
Absolutely. I actually had that on my thank you list, but my underarms were sweating while I was reading off them. I forgot them all. Big thanks to all the head coaches. Starting out with, I'm going to start out with someone I know who's on here, John Sprofka and Paul. Those were my very first coaches. And Ann Zabo, who has a son who played football here at Wittenberg. Man, I mean, they started it off for me. There's Andrea Goodson right there. Adrian Goodson, hey, Goody, who played in WNBA, the ABL. But they started off for me. And then with Frank Goldsberry, Ron Russo at Chaminade Julienne, and then on with Gino Oriyama, right? He's on here as well. So that part of it. And then getting into coaching. And Marty, you were there when I was a young snotty-nosed rookie as a coach under Jim Foster, who gave me my first opportunity. And I did not see that in myself because I was the same age as most of the players, especially the players from Ohio. So he taught me everything. He taught me how to recruit. He taught me how to be to have a high sense of emotional intelligence, know what's going on around you, and be aware of what's going on with the players, and to be impactful, and to have a basketball IQ, and to learn, and to be an educator in it. I remember I used to get out there and want to do all the moves, and he says, "There's going to be a day you can't." Well, now I'm a mom and I can't do what I used to do, and I'm so happy that he gave me that opportunity and saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And then on to Bonnie Henriksen, who I just sent out. One of my dear friends, my little mentees, Kylie McLaren, who I think is also on here. Bonnie taught me the work. I mean, we were in there. That lady worked so hard, and she taught me the quality of just really working hard and building another program. You know, we got to Ohio State, we were last in the Big Ten. We left out, we were running the Big Ten. There, we started out, you know, WNIT, there's steps to this process. And then the year I get out, she goes to the Sweet 16. So buying into a process is what I learned under my first two coaches. And then I took some time off. And that time off, I opened a business. But the biggest thing and one of the most impactful things was I got to do a lot of stuff with Basketball Without Borders, global. I went to Africa a few times. I spent time in India, Sri Lanka. Who goes to Sri Lanka? China, Ukraine. I mean, they let me go all around the world and did some mission work. And that made me more grateful. It made me more grateful. I was not a player then. I became more grateful. So getting back in under Matthew Mitchell, somebody who's super intense, I learned intensity and bringing that every day. If I had to take some from him. And he was a loving Christian man. He loved his family. And that's when I started mine. So having that balance is what he taught me. And then going, you know, I wanted to get back to that Big Ten, Marty. I had some good times there. So getting with Coach Weiss, she's a lifelong mentor for me. If there's any question I have in life, I go to Coach Weiss, Washington, about it. There's nothing she hasn't experienced or she won't pray over you about. So she always has good guidance. She's also an attorney. So she's good with that, but she really stretched me as a coach. Big believer and firm believer in education as well, going and graduating from Notre Dame. She played, she created our CBA and the WNBA. So there's so much I've learned from her over the years, and I continue to call her almost daily. I think she gets tired of me calling her. And then under Coach McGuff, you know, he just gets it done. He wins. I'm not taking stuff, you know, like sometimes I get a little and he brings me back down. So that's what he taught. And just give me another experience to come back home. So that's it, Marty, man. I haven't seen you in a while. It's good seeing you. Thanks for the question.
Good seeing you too. Good seeing you. We see Tangi often over here. We live not too far from her. So
oh, so that means you'll be at every game. That's what I heard.
A lot of them. That's right.
Good.
That's right.
Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah. Okay. So a little bit about when did the conversation kind of start, Tamika, with Wittenberg, and then I'm not sure you made a comment and made me think like maybe you hadn't really thought about being a head coach before, but I'm not sure about that. So explain how it is, how long you've been thinking about this.
Yes, that's a very true statement. And all my friends that are in the coaching business every day tell me you need to be a head coach. You need to be a head coach. Why do you want to be a head coach? You know, head coach for me is about the people, and trusting the people around me. And I just felt like this was the best experience for me, especially knowing Brian Agler and knowing that he's an alum here, and he's been a coach. That I have someone who's a built-in mentor. And then the people I name, I think the resources and the support, they're around me. I absolutely did not see myself as a head coach. That's very true. Brian started to call me maybe a month ago, and come out here, come see it. First he was just like, come see my new job. Well, that was the trick. And then it was like, oh, look at these awesome facilities. We have 5 brand new gym floors. We have the steamer. Look at our indoor 300-yard track and our brand new weight room and all these great facilities. Look at how great our education is. Our academics are here. I know that's big for you. He was being a car salesman about it, but not really telling me about the job, but just more about his job. That's how he first got me here. And then he started to fill in, like, I think you can be the head coach here. And, we need one. I didn't look up, think about that. And I was like, oh, Brian, you're crazy, whatever. Like, I'm not doing that. And then he kept calling and planting seeds. And, our season was over. Our kids were gone. Of course, I'm always going to pick up his phone call. And that kind of sparked it. And then kind of added stuff. Hey, you can really help us out bringing people here and engaging and doing all this stuff. So how about being an AD? Like, I think that, that's something you want to venture into. And so that kind of got added on to it. So there's a big challenge here. I have a big family base here, friend base. So I think we'll be able to get it done. Hi, Tasha. Hi, Cousin Freddie.
So tell us about the AD responsibilities you're going to have, as far as how that works.
It's just really trying to increase our enrollment. Meeting with president, he wants to increase our enrollment by about 250 students. And the only way that you see a return on that is getting people on campus. So just out of the box ideas. Of course, we can run some camps and clinics here. We can do some things from a basketball standpoint, volleyball standpoint, football standpoint, from the academic side of it. But we have the Dayton Ballet, Dayton Symphony, the Schuster Center that I want to pull from to come in and do some plays, do some things like that to generate a buzz here. You have Yellow Spring right there. So just really creating something that we can get kids, young people here on campus. So that's what that is about. And I'm excited about that challenge as well. I have a lot of ideas. Hi, Samari. Hi, Coach Goldsberry. I can only see like 5 of you at a time.
Yeah, I've got couple more questions. Is it okay if I keep asking there?
Go for it.
Okay. So you're gonna be recruiting. You're gonna be coaching and recruiting a different level of player than you've been around since you went to college. Your adjustment to that. What do you think about that, and so forth? And also, after you answer that, my other question was, are there any of the seniors that played last year coming back? If you want to answer that first, you can. But those are the 2 things I'm curious about, because I know the top 2 scorers last year were seniors, Callis and Yunker. I didn't know if they're coming back or what the story is with them.
You're ready? That's where you're going? Yeah, I'm meeting Brian in the stairwell. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna walk?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because.
Oh, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. I
We
don't know
got you now.
But the first, I heard the second question. They are coming back. Just met with the team and pretty much just said exactly what you said. I'm going to lean on the experience that's returning to guide us through this conference. Like I said, you have Ohio Wesleyan's always been good. DePaul, of course, I think they were ranked number 7 in the country last year. We beat them, but they're ranked number 7th in the country. Denison's always really good. So we have some teams that have dominated this conference that we're going to have to chip away at. So we're going to need our seniors to definitely play a big part in that. And then the second part, I can't remember what you said in my first one. Sorry, someone coming.
Just curious about you're going to be coaching, recruiting players that they're not at the same level that you've been around really since you got out of high school. What's that? What are you looking forward to with that, or not? And what is the adjustment you think going to be like?
I think the adjustment of talent level is different, but the expectation is the same. These, just meeting with them, they want to win. So the accountability is going to be huge. The communication and building relationship with them is going to be huge, and giving them a sense of ownership. They've had a couple coaches here. So giving them some stability and in that is going to be huge. The level, you figure it out. The heart is always the same for me. So recruiting a kid that wants to play really hard, or a kid that believes in, in getting their education and performing in that at a very high level is big for me. But ultimately, I'm recruiting that heart. And that doesn't matter what talent level you have. I want you to go out there and play hard and give your best every day. And we just got to get better every day. That's my only responsibility here.
Tamika, off of Jeff's question, you come into a setting where, and I know from being over there for a lot of years, it's not Division I, but it's about as close as you can get without being Division I facilities, commitment. How much has that helped you, and will it make the transition easier for you?
I mean, when you come to Wittenberg, this is like a really nice mid-major. The facilities are really nice. Being at Ohio State, my first year coaching back, we played Valpo here. Notre Dame was going to come here this year. We're going to get Connecticut here. You hear me out there. Coach, so it's a place, it's really nice. The facilities are, you got to come to see it. I think, Marty, that's the best way to, we got to be out some D2 schools on some of these kids. So got to wait for them to fall through the cracks, or maybe they believe in my vision a little bit more than the D2 schools. So we have our hands full in keeping this place moving in the right direction. But I'm aware, I've already reached out to a couple people. I've already got a lot of text messages like, hey, I got a couple kids for you. So when you get that, hey, I got a couple kids for you from this caliber of people who are sending it to me, I think we'll be able to get that done. But these are just words. I got to put them into actions.
Next question should be from Dorothy.
From Dorothy? Where's that? Dorothy Gentry.
Yep.
Is she on? Dorothy, can you hear us? Dorothy Gentry. I know, but I think her mic is off.
Hi, Tamika. It's great to meet you virtually.
Hey, how are you?
Congratulations on the exciting new gig. I have two questions for you. The first one is, you've touched on it in some of your answers before, but for maybe if you're trying to recruit a player, or for what you said to the team when you met with them today, how would you describe your coaching style and your kind of coaching philosophies of like how you want to, bring your team together and have them set forth, not just for basketball, but for life? The second question too is specifically about Brian. How cool is it to kind of have this whole kind of full circle moment where, one of the coaches that you first worked with in the league was someone who's going to be able to give you this opportunity now? And what do you like about working with him, or what do you expect you'll like in this role?
I'm going to piggyback the last part of that question is Brian. Total full circle. Even as a player in college, for him to see in me something I didn't see in myself, to draft me to Minnesota was a blessing. And then when he called, anytime BA calls me, I pick up the phone. Anytime I call him, he's always been there for me. And now he's my boss, the second go around. So for me, it's different with him because he believes in this place. He is an alum. He played sports here. He got his degree from here. And so it was easier for him to sell me on how special it was, because this is a place that produced BA. So I'm very excited about the full circle of it all. I'm very excited about driving his vision. I'm very excited that he likes all my ideas. I mean, I call BA at like 10 o'clock at night, like, hey, I think we can do this, this, and this, and this, and this. And I've already got things in motion. So I think he likes the energy, and he knows I'm going to keep him on his toes and the new ideas. And I'm excited to have someone who believes in me in that space. As far as the team, like I said, our conference is tough, especially at the top portion of it. And from a philosophy standpoint, I just want our kids to play real hard. They have to have a big heart. They have to want to win. They have to want to do the little things. The second thing definitely is to get better every day. And they'll hear that a lot. Sometimes it's easy to see the end. Being at Ohio State my first year, we were last in the Big Ten. Marty Bannister will tell you. Going to Kansas, we were bottom of the Big 12. So I've been a part of two situations that are almost rebuilds. So the type of kids you bring in matters to drive that philosophy. The fact that they have a big heart matters. They have to want to work hard, and they have to want to believe in that process of getting better every day to reach that final goal. And that's it. You know, it's oh gosh, I can't even remember his name. Tor's going to kill me for this, and he is too. But the football coach at Penn State, James Franklin. Oh my gosh, he would always talk about. You know, people would always ask him one thing. He'd say, "Oh, you guys ready to go play? You know, whatever." And he's like, "We're just focused on the next game." And for me, that's my simple philosophy. We're just focused on getting better every day in that next game. And I don't know how we're going to play because I haven't watched them enough. I haven't seen the new people coming in, so I'm not going to tell you that part of it. But when I figure that out, I'll let you know what we're going to run. Of course, you know, I'm not going to come here and say, we want to play fast and we want to shoot a lot of threes and we want to do this. No, I got to see what's in the gym. I got to see how they form. I have to see if they pass the Frank Goldsberry test and they can push through when things get tough. And then we'll figure out what type of team we'll be and we'll build that identity around that. The thing I talk about to the players the most about is getting to know them. The one thing I know about the kid of today, you better care and you better get to know them. So it's going to be a lot of individual meetings. It's going to be a lot of meetings as a team as best we can during the pandemic, whether it's Zoom or FaceTime. I got to know who they are. I got to know what buttons to push, what buttons not to push. As my dad say, when to tap them high, when to tap them low. Because when the times get tough, you got to know how to motivate the people in front of you. That's one thing I've learned coaching. And if we want to win at the level we want to win, there's going to be a process to get to that. So the first thing I have to do is get to know them, bring them in the gym, see how they play, see how they are under fire. And when the gym gets hot, and then we'll see what type of team we want to be, and we'll build an identity around that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, Hartford. Bye, Connecticut. I still love you.
All right, we're going to try and go
Hi,
back.
Coach.
Okay. Dorothy?
I'm so sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can.
Okay, I was having internet connection issues. I apologize. Welcome. I want to ask you a couple of quick questions. How do you plan to capitalize on the increased visibility and growing fan base of women's basketball to help grow the Wittenberg program, one? And then two, personally, what has basketball taught you that carries over into other areas of your life?
Women's basketball right now, I have an older sister, Tangie, who plays. She's about 8 or 9 years older. One of the original Dayton Lady Hoop Stars. And then I have a baby sister who's 6 years younger than I am. We are a basketball family. To see the opportunities my sister had, and I thought I would never play. Tasha Johnson will be able to tell you this, and her dad, she had to come get me out of my basement when they told me I was just going to try out for varsity my freshman year for fear of expectation that I wasn't going to be my older sister, my older brother, who at that time ran the MAC conference. So that's where the expectation was Bowling Green State in Miami. And I'll never live up to that. And so to see, you know, as I got to college, and I mean, that was like the pinnacle. I mean, you know, we were on everything and the endorsements were high and all that. And now to see this big jump, I mean, national championship, you know, all these people, I mean, like the parity in the game now, you know, back then we were chasing Tennessee and then now everybody's chasing Connecticut. Now, you know, you don't know who's going to win, or that's great. There's no way 20 years ago you would have ever told me that the game of basketball on our side would look like that. You know, endorsements. You got Don Staley, you know, cool coach walking around. Adia Barnes, a young one, new on the block. All people I played against. So I think the biggest thing with now me taking this opportunity and at this level, you know, a lot of people were surprised, is bringing that here. You know, bringing hope. One of the players said, Tamika, why would you leave D1 to come here? And I said, it embodies everything I want to be. I'm that crazy person that turns down the NBA jobs and turns down Power 5 jobs to come to Wittenberg. It took me. But guess what? Now they all see a young girl from Jefferson Township, Ohio, just like 80% of the players I'm going to coach and recruit that had the ability to do some great things, and not particularly on the court. I got to travel, I got to become a better person. I got to be a mom. I've been able to coach under some great coaches and learn some great things. I've got to be in a business world. And guess what? I'm this young girl from Jefferson Township, Ohio, that half you guys don't even know where that is. So if I can do it, they can. And, none of them are going to be pros. I get that. But they can still be pros at life. And they're very smart young women, and they're going to inspire and be impactful and be influential to everybody around them. And that's my goal. And that's what Don Staley does every day. And that's what Gino Rama does every day. And that's what Tara Vanderveer and the young kid on the block, Adia Barnes, on down to the head coach at Coppin State, who's a dear friend of mine. It doesn't matter the level. It's the impact.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that was, did I answer your other question?
Well, yeah, and I was just also asking, what about basketball has transferred over into your life? What have you learned from basketball that has transferred into your life?
Basketball has taught me everything that my family didn't. I have two great parents, George and Josephine, who set the foundation, and I had really tough siblings who created some thick skin. You can't come in our household without somebody getting on you. We got me and my brother super goofy, laughing, and the humble. My brother always tells me how much better he is than I am, so he keeps me humble. And that started that. But basketball, anytime you can get around a group of people who have the same goal, and who take ownership in what they do every day and they bring to the table, and you can create an energy of success, it's a fun experience. And I'm just excited that I have had the opportunity to do that a lot in my life and be a small part of something so big. So that's what I've learned the most are, people always say, oh, you're just an athlete. You learn so much about yourself being a part of something bigger than yourself. You learn about what your strengths and weaknesses are. You learn about your boundaries, how far you can be pushed or how far you can be pushed further, where your threshold is, how hot the kitchen can be. Learn about how to communicate with different people at different levels. You can't communicate with everybody at the same. You learn so much about other people. You learn to pay attention to other people. You learn to celebrate other people's success. I could go on and on about different things I've learned about being on teams. The biggest thing is the friendships and the lifelong friendships and experiences and memories. There's a lot of rings I have that I've lost. My husband was like, I cannot believe you do not know where your national champ. You broke your Naismith Award. All my stuff is cracked. It's bad. Because I don't care. What I care about is the people I do it with. What I care about is that I talk to Swin Asia and Sue Bird every single day of my life because we experienced something special. What I care about is I went to Penn State and Medi Torah called me. What I care about is Tasha Johnson talked me out of coming out the basement. What I care about is had not Frank Oldsberry showed up at Chaminade Julienne, I might not be the player and have the experience I was today. That's what I care about. And so what basketball taught me, we'd be here all day because it taught me everything. And it's taking me around the world.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dorothy.
Questions in the chat there.
Samari Walker.
What's up, Meek?
How are you?
First, I'm good. How you doing?
Great.
Good. So first of all, I want to say congrats and thank you for recognizing your purpose. It's because of you. I tell you this all the time that, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have even dreamt to go to CJ. Definitely wouldn't have thought I could have the audacity to dream to play for Coach Oriema and then to make it out of Dayton. Let's just keep it simple as that. You are the reason I was able to dream to see somebody who looked like me and doing all the things that I wanted to do. So thank you for that. And again, for serving your purpose. So just like I'm super familiar with your story, you're familiar with mine. What are you and Wittenberg willing to do for your student athletes or students in general who are struggling with mental health issues and mental illness?
That's a great question. And I think that's a great education moment for the people here or who are listening or who are going to listen, because mental health is huge. It's something I deal with as a coach every day. How far do you push somebody? How much are you paying attention when they're going through something tough? And I take seminars on it. It is something at every institution I've been, especially here recently. There's a space for that. We have sports psychologists most places. But the biggest thing for me as a coach every day is having a relationship enough and having a beat enough or hiring people around me enough that care enough to pay attention to that. That's where you went out on that. Okay. Because if I don't know you and I don't notice that you're doing things that are a little bit different than you usually do, then you're just here and I'm just trying to push you to win games. And I've seen a lot, you know, but that's something that I take a lot of pride in, is building that relationship enough that as soon as you're off missing shots is different than off, like, man, you're gazing out, you know. So having people around you that recognize those things is huge. And I've caught a lot. And people don't understand how important that is at this level, Samari, because I've had people roll up and behind my house before and be like, I don't know, I'm just driving in the darkness. I mean, that's a real moment that happened to me as a coach. And then, you know, I've had people come in and I've seen cuts on arms. So mental health, and it doesn't matter whether it's on the women's or the men's side, it's real. I think the internet, I think you guys are way more aware. You know, I said, you know, that I remember there's Desert Storm and and we didn't know, we weren't aware because there weren't things coming through on our phones. We didn't have cell phones. We weren't as aware of what was going on. I just knew about Jefferson Township and Chaminade Julienne or St. Albert's or Corpus Christi or Blairwood Elementary School. I knew nothing outside of that space. And now I think people are so much aware. The pandemic was very stressful, Samari, on a lot of student athletes, just being off a rhythm and not being able to communicate and be around each other. So I'm going to continue to take seminars. I'm going to continue to push that. I'm continuing to charge myself to pay attention, because that's huge.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I got you. I'm going to bring you in to talk about it.
Any final questions?
Harold Coleman, that's my favorite person on the planet. We're good.
Any final questions? Good.
Well, thank you guys so much, everybody who's tuned in. You know, I'm old school now. Thank you to anybody out there from Wittenberg, any alums, any student body. Oh, I see the underdog is in the building. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you to this community that's going to support us getting through this, and to this wonderful young group of young women that I can mold and help teach and help grow. I'm excited about the opportunity, and Tiger up. Bye.